No, I have not watched any of Synergy's games on their way here. I have been following Kawaii Diamond Bros, so I do not know how exactly their synergy, pun intended, works. Now we get a Janna for the last ban by Kawaii Diamond Bros, and we get a Leona for the first pick for Synergy. Apparently we have someone rooting for blue team. If it's someone that is actually on the team, I can understand why. And Morgana, once again, has gotten through. As we see a Morgana hover here, instead of the Leona that we saw previously. Once again, this is the championship final game for Eastern Washington University's League Tournament. It is Synergy versus Kawaii Diamond Bros. The reflective ranks for each team is a few diamonds, a good amount of plats, and a few golds mixed in. No one below gold is seen on either team. And you see Yasuo also getting through, being picked up by Kawaii Diamond Bros, as well as a very first pick for them being Kha'Zix Jungle. Kha'Zix Jungle also being very strong, picked very often in the LCS at the moment. And Yasuo, usually banned, again, like Morgana, slipped through. Now we see a Hecarim hover, changed over to a Jarvan by Synergy. And a Malzahar hover, that's interesting. Jarvan locked in, so we will see a Jarvan jungle by Synergy. And Malzahar is locked as well for, as far as I know, mid lane on Synergy. Very interesting choice. You don't usually see Malzahars. Malzahar does have a good amount of security with his suppress ult and high damage potential, so Yasuo probably can't dive him too much after 6. Meanwhile, you see a Anivia and a Ziggs, so I'm judging from these mid picks by Purple Poison, okay, never mind. As we see a Yorick covered, an Ezreal being hovered on as well. Changed his mind back to Yorick. And now for Shyvana as the final decision for top lane. The last game we saw, the Shyvana did fairly well for Kawaii Diamond Bros. It's the first time I have seen Ezreal, however, on Kawaii Diamond Bros side. Now I'm curious to see if they're going to play on knockups. Right now it seems they're running comfortable champions. Each one for Kawaii Diamond Bros is running champions they're familiar with by far, as they've played them before, observable in this series. Suppose you can always Yasuo ult off of Dragon. Displacement in any form does count. And you see a Graves being locked in, very interesting choice. And a Vlad locked in for the top lane against Shyvana. Be interesting to see how the top lane fares, as Vlad has a good amount of sustain and range on Shyvana. And you see Alistar being picked up by Kilmark. Now everybody's locked in. We see blue team or Synergy going with a Malzahar, Morgana, Jarvan, Graves, and Vlad combo. Learn how to speak. And purple team, also known as Kawaii Diamond Bros, is going with a Kha'Zix, Yasuo, Shyvana, Ezreal, and Alistar combo. Alistar will definitely help with the Yasuo. So far, we see a decent amount of hard engage for both teams. We see Morgana snares off of Synergy, as well as Jarvan's initiation capabilities. And we see Alistar with his mini Malphite combo on top of Dragon Form into Yasuo ults from either champion. Poke-wise, we see not much at all from Synergy, save for a few Morgana snares, which, as I said previously, were capitalized mostly for hard engages versus actual poking. And for purple team, we see a good amount of poke through Whirlwinds, Void Spikes, and Ezreal, so we'll see how they play it. Again, we are spectating, so a 3-minute delay is mandatory to prevent ghosting. So that 3-minute delay is being waited on now. As you see, the timer, or the delay period remaining, is 1 minute and 45 seconds. Now, interesting choice by Gert, the AD carry for Synergy, going Graves into that team, as Graves' attack range is a little bit low. While he does have a high burst potential, he has to avoid being in Alistar's essentially CC range between Pulverize, and he also has to deal with Shyvana and Yasuo, as well as Kha'Zix going after him. So he doesn't have too much safety getting out his DPS. But the Graves passive will probably help with the poke a bit. On another note, though, we do see a lot of AoE damage capable from the Synergy teams. See Jarvan able to Colosseum everybody into one spot, if the opportunity arises, and Vlad ult on top of Morgana ult, and Malzahar's AoE damage will definitely prove to be meddlesome. You don't want to stand in that. Disruption capabilities for both teams are relatively high. And now the screen goes black. Loading screen should be up within seconds. From Synergy, we see victorious Jarvan. Probably one of the rarer skins you'll see, as not many people played back when Season 1 was around. It's got the borders so far are in Synergy's favor. But borders don't mean anything at this state in the game. So now we finally get in 10 seconds on the timer. You see Vlad actually going bot lane, and a pause going out really early on. But from whom? Seems one of our guys' client has screwed up. He's reconnecting, sorry. So, from Kawaii Diamond Bros, the mid lane, the Oddnar has disconnected, or had client problems. So, luckily, pausing, allowed in tournament style, draft mode, is definitely beneficial to allow disconnects and other miscellaneous problems to be solved without any hard feelings between the teams. Now the pause is over as the odd Gnar has reconnected. And everyone is now traveling to their lanes. And I will take this time to arrange the mid lanes onto the mid lanes. The bot lanes onto the bot lanes. And the top lanes onto the top lanes. Meanwhile, Alistar actually giving away the position of the Kawaii Diamond Bros. Doesn't know that Sin Eddie is sitting right there as Jarvan. You see 4 people stacked up in this bush. This could be an interesting predicament. See Alistar walking backwards. Now, the Kawaii Diamond Bros don't know. Our purple team does not know. And blue team is sitting right here in this bush. They had no vision of their approach. Meanwhile, blue team has a ward here to see if they're approaching. And we see 3 versus 4 coming over here. We are looking to see a little bit of level 1 action. Meanwhile, the snare actually misses. Mr. Strat going to flash jump out. The ignite probably not going to do enough damage. And the flag on top of the last tick of ignite actually gets first blood for Synergy, and the blue buff is going to go to Jarvan. Well played by Synergy here on blue team. Meanwhile, everybody just goes back to their lanes, continues. This is a different Morgana player than the last time, so we'll see just how reliable these snares are. We're going to see Yasuo and the Malzahar trading. Yasuo almost goes down. The Void Link damage is quite a bit. Don't want to screw with Malzahar too much. That last nerf on Yasuo gives him a significant amount of early game health lost. Not going to be able to engage too much on this Malzahar anymore. See quite a few of these snares being thrown out, but no contact yet. Alistar randomly headbutting Graves. Deny something with a creep or a little bit of harass. Vlad actually pushing up in top lane. A little bit of harass onto this Shyvana. Malzahar actually remaining dominant in mid lane. Alistar finally getting hit by a snare in bot lane. Not going to do too much damage to him. Sustain off of Alistar is going to be enough to keep bot lane healthy. Meanwhile, in top lane, you see Shyvana getting out traded by this Vlad, of course, because she can't really trade against him. Vlad was a pretty good pick against Shyvana top. My personal opinion. Anytime that Shyvana wishes to approach, she has the option to cool. he can attack from a viable range away. Andy, as Vlad, taking tower shot for his continued aggression. Purple poison, the Shyvana looking a little low now. Meanwhile, in mid lane, we get a 1-for-1 trade. Because Yasuo takes out the Malzahar, but Malzahar takes out Yasuo. Morgana trying to throw another snare out there. Hint a minion. Minion's going nowhere. Both junglers not really making too much of an appearance yet. CS-wise, Yasuo is keeping up with Malzahar relatively well. Graves and Ezreal are fairly even as well. And we also see Shyvana actually out CSing with Vladimir. Shyvana opting for a very early Negatron cloak to prevent Vlad's harass from doing all that much. Well, let's see Morgana actually coming up for Malzahar. Misses the snare once again. Malzahar opts for a ultimate in the tower, but the follow-up from Jarvan and Morgana is going to be enough to take him out. Well, Kha'Zix here actually gets dunked, getting a little too close to this level 6 Jarvan, and that's going to be more kills on blue team's side. Synergy looking like they're getting a good amount of advantage here. And with the jungler down, they're going to opt for a very early dragon. It's very much possible with 4 people there. Good disengage by the Morgana snare. We get Alistar to stay there. No counter retaliation. While Yasuo wants to investigate. Shyvana now running Negatron cloak, stays relatively healthy on top of that. Meanwhile, you see Yasuo opting to take a few raids while his lane is pushed up. Meanwhile, you see Malzahar less visibly dominant in the mid lane. Yasuo is actually out TSing him now. Malzahar does have 3 kills. Yasuo doing a good job of clearing nearly every minion coming into tower range as Malzahar pushes up in the standard Malzahar fashion. Yasuo not wanting to engage on Malz for the obvious reason that the suppress ultimate as well as a full burst is not going to be survivable. And now Jarvan looking to go after, and the long range ultimate as well as the dunk on top of it is going to secure Yasuo's death. And another kill goes down for Nas. Meanwhile, teleport on Vlad comes down. Very ballsy engage there. Gonna get just a bit too close to that tower. No one dies for bot lane. But you see mid lane coming up with 4-1 versus 1-3. Meanwhile, you see Jarvan getting also really low. Ezreal having to back off, as well as this Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix might be in trouble here as he actually walks back into Malzahar, and Malzahar is going to easily pick up a kill with his dots on top of that null zone there. Meanwhile, you see some proxy from Synergy's bot lane. That's going to be a turret down for the bot lane. And now Malzahar almost getting another kill. Jarvan almost in range to follow up. But Malz forces the flash barrier from Yasuo instead. So far, this is looking like Synergy having complete dominance over the Kawaii Diamond Rose. And the dunk comes in, but to no avail as Kha'Zix able to walk out. Although the amount of damage put onto Kha'Zix will definitely not help his jungling situation. Now we see Ezreal and Alistar here rotating up to try to save a little bit of damage on this mid turret. Meanwhile, you see Kha'Zix once again getting followed by this Jarvan. You see Alistar making a very bold appearance. Pops ult, but it's about to come off. It's going to take a lot of damage off. Now Shyvana in the middle of 5 enemy team members going to go down, and Alistar sticks around probably for the worse as he goes down shortly afterwards, and top turret now also goes down for Synergy. This is looking like it's far in control of blue team. 9-1 with a gold advantage of 6.5k. Meanwhile, you see 4 turrets down to 0 on Kawaii Diamond Rose. See Malzahar actually zoning Kha'Zix out of his own jungle. See vision control from purple team, very defensive. You see some offensive wards by blue team. And now blue buff being contested. Kha'Zix's blue buff going to be taken away by this Jarvan here. Malzahar waiting in the wings to see if someone responds. Nobody does. Meanwhile, we get a point-blank ultimate and full combo onto the Shyvana, but she's tanky enough to survive it, even with the ignite. Running those health pots, and you see a re-engage by purple team. You actually see Jarvan going down. You see Yasuo still alive somehow. Malzahar getting zoned off, and the disengage ultimate by the Morgana. It's going to save any more deaths from happening. You actually see Mr. Strat on Kha'Zix getting caught by that snare off of Morgana. And now we see the Vlad picking up the kill off of that. So far, blue team coming out ahead once again with a few last-minute picks. You see dragon is going to be once again taken. And towards blue team no less. The gold lead is now even higher for synergy. Oh, that was odd. Apparently we got leaving the grid from Pulse Fire Ezreal over here as a global sound effect. Kha'Zix finally securing a red buff over here. Right now, purple team just trying to turtle it out, not get caught. Farm the jungle, farm the lanes. That's what they need to do, because they can't really win a fight right now. Now we see a snare inside, securing the Alistar's death after a full mouse combo, and we're going to see a second tier turret going down on purple side. Meanwhile, these null fields, as well as the pool from Morgana, zoning out some people. Ezreal caught in Jarvan's Colosseum. You see Graves picking up the kill, and now we see Malzahar's dot claiming yet another one, although you will see the turret doing tons of damage onto that Morgana. And you see once again a Vlad claiming Kha'Zix's life after all of the turret dives here by blue team. This is looking to be an inhibitor as all of purple team is down for the moment. Alistar looking to stay back, doesn't want anything to do with this. Ezreal ult goes down, misses everyone but Malz. See aggressive pink wards finally getting spotted by this purple team. Purple team, some sort of gold comeback to get into fight potential against this blue team. Now Baron looking like it's heavily contested. Wards down for both. The pink ward here able to keep vision off for purple team though. Kha'Zix continuously having to check it. Meanwhile, Shyvana is posing as the dragon, I guess. And Jarvan in the middle of 3 people gonna be able to take out Yasuo and survive. Kha'Zix does not do nearly enough damage. Literally 1v3, he has the gold advantage to keep on going. Meanwhile, you see a slow onto this Alistar, and finally going to go down after the ultimate fades away from the combined DPS of Malz and Jarvan. Meanwhile, you see Ezreal absolutely get bursted after being caught by that Morgana snare. It's going to be yet another inhibitor going down for purple side. This is looking to be game. As you see, all the players are calling GG, well played. Not too many fancy comebacks here. We see Synergy starting off with the lead and sticking with it. Meanwhile, you do see a fight.